He married her when life was simple. Their home was small, the days predictable, but love lived in the quiet spaces between chores and shared laughter. She believed in him with a faith that did not ask questions. To her, his dreams were already enough. He spoke often about seeing more of the world beyond the village. She listened with admiration, never fear. She packed his bags carefully when opportunity called him away, whispering prayers into folded clothes. She believed distance would only make love stronger. As he left, he promised to return unchanged. She watched him disappear down the path, trusting the man she married. She did not know that the world he was walking into would slowly unteach him who he was. The city dazzled him. Lights replaced stars, noise replaced silence, and people walked as if they had somewhere important to be. For the first time, he felt invisible and powerful because of it. No one knew his past. He learned new ways to speak, to dress, to move. Compliments came easily, and attention felt intoxicating. He started to measure life by excitement instead of meaning. Home began to feel far away. When his wife called, her voice sounded gentle but distant to his new ears. He answered quickly, distracted by everything around him. Without noticing, he began living a life that did not include her. Back in a village, she sensed the change before she understood it. His calls became shorter, his words less warm. She blamed the city, not him. She believed patience could heal anything. She kept his place ready, washed his clothes even when he wasn't there. She spoke of him proudly to others, defending his absence. Love, to her, meant waiting without complaint. Meanwhile, he began skipping calls altogether. Silence felt easier than explaining how different he had become. And with every missed call, the distance between them hardened. In the city, he met someone who reflected the version of himself he was becoming. She admired his confidence, his ambition, his stories. With her, he felt admired, not remembered. She laughed at his jokes and challenged his thoughts. There was no shared past to weigh him down. He told himself it was harmless, just companionship. But he stopped mentioning his wife. He began editing his truth. And with every lie by omission, he stepped further away from the life he once promised to protect. One morning, he noticed he no longer wore his ring. He told himself it was just uncomfortable in the city. The excuse sounded reasonable enough to silence his conscience. His wife sent messages filled with warmth and hope. She spoke of his return like it was certain. He read them but rarely replied with the same enthusiasm. Guilt came in waves, but desire drowned it out. He convinced himself that people grow, and growth sometimes means leaving things behind. He never asked whether she agreed. He stopped sending money home, not because he couldn't, but because the city demanded more of him. His wife noticed, but she did not complain. She adjusted quietly, as she always had. When she finally asked if something was wrong, his response was cold and vague. He said life had changed. He did not say how or with whom. That night, she cried alone, holding on to the memory of the man she married. He slept comfortably, unaware that his silence was louder than any argument. Unable to live in uncertainty, she traveled to find him. She dressed simply, carrying hope instead of anger. She wanted answers, not confrontation. Seeing him in the city shocked her. He looked different, confident, distant, unfamiliar. When their eyes met, he did not smile the way he used to. She realized then that he had already left her long before she arrived. The city had taken more than his time. It had taken his loyalty. They spoke in private. She asked gently if she had done something wrong. He avoided her eyes, blaming change, blaming growth, blaming life. He said the village no longer fit him. He said love was not enough anymore. Each word fell carefully, but none of them spared her heart. She did not beg. She simply listened, absorbing the truth she had feared. And when she left, she carried her dignity with her. At first, he felt relieved. No more explanations, no more responsibility. The city welcomed him fully now. But something felt missing. The laughter around him was loud but shallow. The admiration he received had no roots. In quiet moments, he remembered her patience, her belief, her steady love. The city had given him excitement, but taken away peace. Back in the village, she did not collapse. She mourned, then rebuilt. She poured her pain into strength and her silence into growth. People noticed her confidence, her calm, her grace. She no longer waited by the road for someone who chose another life. She learned that love should not require self-erasure. And in losing him, she found herself again. When he returned to the village, it was not as a hero but as a stranger. He expected familiarity, but found distance. She greeted him with kindness, not longing. Her eyes held peace, not hope. That scared him more than anger ever could. He realized too late that tasting city life had cost him a love that was real, and no apology could rewrite that truth. They parted without bitterness. She chose a future rooted in self-worth. He chose to live with a lesson he could not undo. Love, she learned, should grow with you, not away from you. And he learned that excitement fades, but regret lingers. He left his village wife after tasting city life. She stayed and discovered that sometimes being left is the beginning of becoming whole.